What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. We are here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Thursday, November 14th, 2024. My name is Chris Drummond. I am a freelance sports reporter based out of Minnesota here, also work in sales and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I bring individuals on to talk about their why and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a special guest that's coming on with me today, and she has over 20 plus years of experience being an on-air meteorologist, broadcast journalist, meteorologist on TV, worked in places such as Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, and most recently in Atlanta, Georgia. She is now a talent coach and paying it forward by being able to help the up and coming ones that want to be a broadcast journalist in meteorology or period by helping them coach them being on air. Her name is Domenica Davis. And we're going to talk to her about her why and get to know her a little bit outside of her occupation. So, without any further ado, I introduce you the talented, the wonderful, and the beautiful Domenica Davis.
You can't see me. Can you see me? Now you can. Hi.
I certainly can. How you doing? Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing today?
I'm good. It's nice to meet you.
It is a pleasure to meet you too, Domenica. No doubt.
Is this background okay?
It's perfect. You look amazing. Stop it.
Okay. Okay. I was hoping to be in a different where I do like my one-on-one settings, but it's not, I couldn't light it in time. So anyhow, so hopefully this isn't a drag, this background.
Oh my goodness. No, absolutely not. Like I said, you look absolutely amazing. No question
Okay,
about it.
thank you.
No problem. No problem at all. I want to thank you for coming on to my podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder. And I want to ask you, how is your week going so far?
So far, so good. What is this? Thursday? I keep forgetting the days. First of all, thank you for asking me.
Mhm. No doubt.
You're very talented. I've watched some of your podcasts, and I really like what you're doing, and I think it's admirable. So thank you for asking me. I'm honored. My week is going good. It's been weird. I feel like, like everybody else, just kind of pushing through. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm just trying to take it day by day.
I understand that. No question about that. I want to reiterate to you, Domenica, why I wanted to have you on here before I start like asking you all these questions.
Okay.
Now, obvious, did a little bit of research. You are 20 plus years of experience, right, of being an
Yeah.
on meteorologist, which is amazing. I love to hear the whole story, and we're definitely going to get into that. I'm a journalist, freelance now, but I've been working in different publications. I started in Atlanta, Georgia, where I got my undergrad. You're probably familiar with Marietta Daily Journal, Cherokee Tribune Ledger. Those are the two publications that I've started with over in my county where I lived in when I was in Atlanta, which is Cobb County.
Me
Um,
too.
and then now I've been out here in Minnesota for the past 3 years. I worked 2 years out here covering sports from a high school level, collegiate level. Now I'm also covering it freelance as a professional as well, doing professional sports. So um, I want to talk to different people online as you've seen some of my episodes about their why. And I love talking to people like that because it's a rarity that we get to sit down and have these conversations like this. You're so often trying to get the story, tell the story, or talk about weather, talk about different things that may be happening in the city that you're living in. And nobody gets to really sit down and talk to you about your why because everybody's story is unique and different. So I wanted to definitely hear about yours, and I'm very honored myself that you would even say yes to come on here because it's
Of
been a blessing for sure.
course. Well,
Um,
listen, I'm a very candid person.
okay,
So good. I think that will be good for you.
all right, I'm with you on that. Well, without any further ado, let's get into it. The first
Okay.
question is simple. It's always the same. What is your why? Why do you do what you do? Did you have any inspirations or role models maybe growing up? I believe you're from the Boston area, if I'm not mistaken.
Amen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So talk to me
I'm
about your why of getting into journalism.
Okay. Well, I knew at a very young age that
Mhm.
this is what I wanted to do. And I knew my why because I knew what I didn't want first. So when
Mhm.
I was about, I don't know, maybe as young as 9, 10, when you can start kind of, when you get to that age where you start, you can, I mean, I don't know the exact age, but I would say it was about 9 or 10. It was when I could start
Sure.
to put things together and observe things in a different way.
Okay.
Um, I realized I did not want a 9 to 5 job. I would go with my parents to their offices.
Mhm.
Like if I didn't have school or had a dentist appointment or something, and I would sit there and I would be like, I remember just sitting there and thinking, I never want to do this in my life. This looks
Right.
miserable.
Right.
So I had an aversion to an office, like from a very young age that I can remember.
Okay.
Also, my father was a union president. Um,
Okay.
he was the president for the hotel and restaurant workers in Boston, Local 26. They were very much on the news, very much so. They did a lot
Okay.
of protests. There were always news crews, either at his office or at our house. He was being
Mhm.
interviewed. He spent a lot of time in the news. And so I was around, I would see news crews if they would have rallies or if they would come to our house for an interview. And I would look at these reporters and be like, that's so cool. I want to do that. And
Absolutely.
so that is really how that was my influence. I would see the local news and national news,
Mhm.
at interests of what my father was doing.
Mhm.
And I thought, wow, that's such a cool job. And that's really how it began. So I knew very young. I mean, in grade school, I would always say I wanted to be a news reporter. And I was also obsessed as a young kid with Joan Rivers. This is going to
Okay.
show my age. I know you weren't expecting that, were you?
No,
Joan
no, not
Rivers
at all.
I know. Joan
Mhm.
Rivers and Regis and Kathy Lee. So at the time when I was in grade school, Regis and Kathy Lee came on at 9. Joan Rivers had the Joan Rivers show at 10.
Yep.
So I spent a lot of my summer, I would watch it. I
Mhm.
would watch Regis and Kathy Lee, and I used to think they were married. I was just a little kid, and I loved their banter. I thought that the first, the interview part I didn't really care about because I was young and it was always these older people that didn't appeal to me. But I
Sure. Sure.
loved the first 15 minutes of the show where they would just sit there and do the host chat. I thought that was the coolest thing. And I always liked Joan Rivers for some reason. My parents were never into her. I liked her. I thought she was funny. And I mean, her jokes were not for children, but there was something about her. She was glamorous, and there was
Mm.
just something about her that was really funny. So I used to like to watch the beginning of both of those shows, and
Okay.
I would always watch them on the summer. So in the summer, because I wasn't in school.
Right.
So they had a huge influence. So between being around news crews and that, I mean, I knew that that was what I wanted to do. I was very drawn to that. So, like, I'm older, I'm in my 40s. And when, back then, everybody was into like New Kids on the Block, and they would have those posters on their wall. And I had like Regis Philbin, Kathy Lee Gifford, and
Mhm.
Joan Rivers.
Mhm.
Those are
Yep.
my influences. And I'm not kidding, it really was. So, yeah, so I mean, my why is I just thought, man, that's so awesome that these people get to be in front of the camera and they're having so much fun. And even local news, those reporters look like they were having a great time.
Mm.
And so it was really just that very shallow based at first. It was just like they look like they're having the time of their lives, and I want to be a part of this, and I don't want to be sitting in an office like my parents or anybody else that I knew. So that was really my initial why. And then when I got into it, um when I started internships really early in senior year in high school, I started my internships at Kiss
Okay.
108 FM in Boston, the Maddie in the Morning Show, which is a really highly acclaimed morning show, radio morning show. And I would pull carts and things like that, which I don't even know. People won't even know what carts are anymore. But used to pull carts to put in commercials or the songs, and you would kind of rack them up. So then they would go in manually. This was all manual at
Okay.
the time.
Okay.
Um, and I would help book guests on the show. I basically did anything they wanted me to do. And I just
Mhm.
thought, this is a really cool atmosphere. It's an energetic atmosphere. It's I don't know. It was a lot of dreams. I felt like you could go in a lot of directions. And the more I started to do it, the why was, this just feels like me and what I should be doing. And I feel like I'm good at this and I could continue doing this. This would keep my interest for a very long time. And it has. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. And, and then eventually I went into meteorology, which was never a plan to go into
Wow.
meteorology. I started out as a news reporter and I wanted to I went to Boston University,
Yep.
graduated with broadcast journalism, and I thought I wanted to be a news reporter. And I was interning at WHDH, the NBC affiliate in Boston. I was a news writer.
Hmm.
And I got my first agent, and he said, "Why don't you do weather? Reporters are a dime a dozen, but you could get into weather, and they need women in weather. And, you have to go get your meteorology degree, but you can work and do your degree. And, you'll get more, it's a higher paying because it's a degree job, and there's more of a need for that." And
Sure.
I wanted to be in this business. I loved broadcasting. So I said, "You think that'll get me? Okay, yeah, I'll do it." And that's how I became a meteorologist. So I have a very different story from most meteorologists, because a lot of meteorologists say, like, they got caught in a thunderstorm, or, I that was never the case. I never cared
Right.
about weather. I went into it strategically. I do love weather now. I mean, I've been a meteorologist for a very long time, and I
Absolutely.
absolutely love it. And I'm happy that that happened the way it did. But no, I just wanted so badly to be in this business in broadcasting, and I loved it. And I thought, well, if this could be my foothold, I'm doing it. And
All
so
right.
that was my motivation to get into meteorology.
I love it. I love that first answer. I really do. Obviously, you took me back a little bit of nostalgia for myself because I'm in my 30s. So I definitely remember Ricky Lake, Jerry Springer, Joan Rivers. I do remember Regis and Kathy Lee. I do remember that. And I remember those talk shows. And you're right. Those first 15 minutes, they would just talk about any and everything. It wouldn't be about any type of. It would be like letting you know if guests is coming
What
on and
they
stuff like that. But
Where they went the night
right,
before for dinner. And it was
absolutely,
great. It was very cool and glamorous. And Regis and Kathy Lee, they were the only ones doing that format. That was a very new format. Now, Joan Rivers, she would just do her monologue. It was just a
right,
shtick, and she was
right.
funny, and I liked that. So yeah, but I mean, it's true. Everybody always is taken aback when I say that those two were the biggest influences, but they really were.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, you could throw Montel Williams in there, Geraldo, for stuff for sure. Because I
I
remember those.
actually got to, when I worked at Fox News, I actually got to work with Geraldo, and that was kind of a big moment,
Yeah,
because you grow
absolutely.
up watching Geraldo, and he's a lovely person, very generous, a great
Mhm.
broadcaster. Um, and he's very lovely. And yeah, so and I was able to meet Regis Philbin. I was able to meet Kathy Lee, and she is as wonderful as you could expect.
Mhm.
When I lived in New York, I met her, and she became a sort of a friend. She would check in on me, and she was really sweet. So it was, and I met Joan Rivers too. I did get to meet Joan Rivers. So I got to meet those idols, which was awesome.
That is awesome. And you mentioned it already, but I want to know because you went to Boston University and you also got your meteorology degree. And we know that Mississippi State University is one of the best, if not the best, university to go there and get your meteorology degree. I want to know, were there any other schools that you were considering outside of Boston University and Mississippi State that could have persuaded you to go there instead of those two?
NYU. I wanted
Mhm.
to go for undergrad. I wanted to go to NYU. I did not get in. I think it worked out. You know,
Oh,
I think things happen for a reason. I was not happy at the time.
sure.
I wanted to go to New York terribly. I'm growing up, I just wanted to get to New York. I eventually did get to New York. I
You
got to
sure
New York
did.
to go to work. So,
Mhm.
I went to New York to work at Fox News Channel when I was 29. And I stayed in New York for 10 years. So I did get to New York. And I got there when I was supposed to. I believe that. But yeah, so NYU,
Okay, I'm with you on that. Now, you are in the Atlanta, Georgia area still?
I am.
Okay, so let me ask you, are you a converted Chick-fil-A and Waffle House person?
Okay, you're gonna be really disappointed with this.
Uh-oh. Oh, Lord. Uh-oh. Talk to me
I
now. Talk to
know.
me.
Okay, so Chick-fil-A, I'm not really into stuff like I'm just not really into. I never we When we grew up, we didn't have a lot of fast food. My mom was
Right.
very strict about stuff like that.
Mhm.
Thank goodness, apparently, because I don't really have a huge taste for things like that now.
Okay.
My kids like Chick-fil-A. They don't love, they're not like, they don't overdo it with Chick-fil-A. It's not like something they could eat every
Absolutely.
day, but like once a month they'll have a craving for it. And so I've had it. I don't go crazy for it at all. I mean, I've had a chicken nugget here and there. I've even tried a chicken sandwich.
Mhm.
Waffle House, we tried for the very first time this past summer.
Wow.
I know. And
Wow.
I've been here in Atlanta. Well, we don't have Waffle Houses in the Northeast. I don't think
Right.
I don't think so,
No,
anyhow.
no, you do not.
Okay.
My dad lives in the Northeast. You do not.
No, we don't. Okay. So my son, I have twins. They're 7. So, they're watching YouTube and stuff that they shouldn't be. So he was really intrigued with Waffle House. So he was like, Mom, can you take me to Waffle House? We have to try it. So we went and tried Waffle House. And I will say their eggs were delicious.
Absolutely.
Their
Absolutely.
eggs, I just got simple scrambled eggs and they were phenomenal. So I will go back to Waffle House 100%. I enjoyed it, but we have only been there one time.
I understand. No, listen, that was a staple for me in my college years. I went to Kennesaw State University. That's where I got my undergrad at. So we literally had a Waffle House right across the street from our university. Uh,
Yeah, I mean they're kind of everywhere.
everywhere, almost on every block,
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
something that's really like residential and not very rural there. They're everywhere. So I have family still there. My mother, aunt, uncle live in Lawrenceville, which you probably know that city pretty good.
Yeah.
So I typically go there a couple times a year to visit. Every time I go
Nice.
to visit though, I definitely got to get my all-star special at Waffle House. And you know about that.
Okay, well the next time you're here, maybe we can meet up for lunch at Waffle House.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm with you on that. I want to ask you some favorite questions, okay? And
Okay.
you just give me the 411 off the rip based upon these favorite questions. Are you with me?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, here we go. Favorite meal you like to cook?
Oh, my Sunday, I do like everything. Meatballs, pork, sausage, my Sunday
Mhm.
sauce. That's my favorite. I love it.
Oh,
And it
well,
cooks like all day and it smells amazing and it just feels like, a mom's in the house. I'm the
I
mom.
feel you on that. Listen, if I'm ever there on a Sunday, please Tupperware me something because that sounds delicious. I'm being honest with you. That is amazing. I love it. That's awesome. Okay, I'm a tacos person, so anything tacos, I can whip it up really fast. Chicken as well, chicken, but I'm not much of a cook, Dominica. I'm much more of a griller, and I know probably your
Yeah,
husband can
makes
understand
sense.
that because us guys we like to grill, so that's for
Yes,
sure.
yes, yes. Well, my
Absolutely.
favorite food, I don't know if this is the question, but my favorite food is wings.
Oh well,
That's my
we're gonna
favorite
get
food. You
we're gonna
asked me my
get to
favorite
that.
things to cook. My favorite food is wings. I could eat them any time of the year, and I am hot ones. I would survive till the end.
You
You know
would.
that show? Oh, I'm the spice queen. Like nothing, it's never too hot for me. Never.
You
I
know
could be in
what?
a spice competition with anyone.
I'm
Anyone.
not
And I'm really confident saying that. With anyone, it's never too hot for me.
okay. So the way you're confident about eating wings and spicy is how confident I am in playing spades. That's the same way.
Oh, no, I don't know how to play spades.
I understand. I get it. And you
But
know
yes,
what?
okay. So, well, if we could team up, and I could be in a wing competition, you could be in a spades, we could probably clean up.
Oh,
But
we certainly would. We certainly would,
I'm
because I could join you in that spicy wing. Now, the spicy wings, I'm good till I get to about the bomb. If you've seen the episode of Hot Wings, they have a sauce called the bomb.
Yeah, I
Um,
I tried it.
oh, you
Because
did?
you can get all those now. Yeah,
I didn't know
my cousin, he's in Gulf Shores.
that.
So
Hmm.
not this summer, but last summer we did a whole, I was there for Memorial Weekend, and
Yeah.
we did a whole we did like a whole competition. So we had all the levels. I made it. I
Okay.
mean, it's
I know.
hot. Don't get me wrong. It was hot, but I was fine. Totally fine. Everybody was like dropping out and guzzling. I was fine.
Oh, hell yeah. I would probably dropped out myself. Now, can you do ghost pepper?
Yes.
Okay. So hold on. Let me
I
before I
like
get
it. When I start to sweat, I'm like, oh, this is good. See, I enjoy that.
okay, before I get to the next favorite, I want to ask you, did
So
you
you
do
didn't,
the
no, you
hot
didn't
chip
think that was
challenge?
coming. You didn't think that was
No,
coming.
I did not. Did you do the hot chip challenge?
Hot chip challenge. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe I do like every hot challenge. My kids are obsessed with having me do this because nothing ever bothers me.
Mm.
I know I don't, I mean, maybe, but I don't really remember it, but I would love to.
Okay, I'm with you on that. I like
I
that
would
though.
love to.
I like the fact that you like to eat hot stuff because that's pretty good. That's
Yes.
pretty neat.
Like
Okay.
when I love Indian food, and I always ask them if they could make it extra hot, and they'll look at me like, "You sure about that?"
Mm-hmm. I'll
And
probably
I
give you the
say,
same
"Yes,
looks,
don't you
Domenica.
worry. You, I
I'm
am a
gonna lie to you.
pro."
I'll probably give you the same looks, to be honest with you. I like, listen, Tabasco sauce, a little bit of hot sauce. Like I said, hot wings. I'll make it to the third one, fourth one. While we get to the fifth one, we better have some milk with me on the table. That's all I'm saying. So I'm with you on that. Okay, here we go. Favorite concert you've ever attended?
This is going to be so lame because I don't attend concerts because I have, this is boring. I'm sorry, because I have a crowd phobia.
Really?
I do. So this is many, many years ago when I was in college, and this is so lame. You can edit this out, Dave Matthews, because it's by default. Because I think that's really truly the only
Come on now.
concert I've ever, well, I've been to like a Kids Bop concert, but I don't feel like that counts. Um, that was recent. My most recent concert was a Kids Bop concert. Um, and then my last concert, and I think it was the only concert I've ever been to, was Dave Matthews. I do not like crowds. I can barely like going to basketball games and football games. I would love to go to those, but I get so too much anxiety in crowds.
Okay. Well, listen.
So
Listen.
that's a boring.
I totally no. It's not. It's not boring at all, Dominica. It's not because first of all, Dave Matthews is solid music. It's good music. Now obviously, when you say after
I
that,
was in
I haven't.
college. I was in college.
Right.
Okay. This was
Right.
in the 90s. Dave
Hmm.
Matthews was
He was
it.
solid. He was solid. He
It.
still is. He still
Yes.
is
Yes.
solid. Like
All
it's
right.
like saying Hootie and the Blowfish is not good.
Yeah.
Like Hootie and the
Remember, this
Blowfish is
is
good.
like at the height of when Grey's Anatomy was like your Thursday night television. So we're going that far back.
Wow.
Okay. That
Yeah.
far back in life.
Okay. All right. I feel you on that. I would say Alicia Keys for me. I'm a huge R&B person, so seeing Alicia Keys in person, I love concerts. Hopefully, we can break that phobia of yours one of these days and be able to
Oh,
get
you know what?
there.
You just reminded me. I was at a TED Talk in Brooklyn,
Hmm.
and I don't know, it was a concert, but it was like a private concert with John Legend. That
Okay, there you
was
go.
unbelievably moving.
Yes, absolutely. He's great live. I've seen him live too. Because, like I said, I'm a huge concert goer. There is some bucket list people that I would love to see, like Bruno
Who?
Mars. Have not
Um,
seen Bruno Mars live. I would love to see J. Cole. He's one of my favorite rappers. I would love to see probably Usher. Yeah, definitely Usher. I would love to see Usher live. I have not seen Usher live. I've seen Chris Brown. I've seen Trey Songz and some other ones, but Usher is definitely somebody I would love to see live for sure. So yeah, I got some bucket list people I definitely want to see. I'm a huge concert person when I can go for sure when my schedule permits it. So I feel that. Favorite place, Domenica, that you ever traveled to?
Turks and Caicos.
Oh my goodness, I'm jealous. I'm jealous
It was awesome.
already. Tell me about it. Tell me how that place was.
It was, I mean, there's not, the beaches are so beautiful. The beaches are so beautiful.
Mhm.
Um, it's like that beautiful white sand.
Ooh,
Everything was luxurious. I haven't been in a while though. I haven't been to Turks and Caicos. It's definitely built up since I've been there. But that was one of my favorite places for sure. Nantucket, Massachusetts is a favorite of mine. That is like a dream come true. It's like New England on steroids. And I used to go there a lot when I was in high school, or in college, I should say, not high school, in college. I would go there a lot. And
sure.
it is like quintessential New England, like almost like fake. And
Mm.
it's just awesome. So those would, but Turks and Caicos is my favorite place. Okay, I'm so long-winded. You just want me to answer, and then I carry on and on.
You're good. You are good. You are good. You're overthinking. Just be yourself, okay? You are good. Don't even worry about it. I will tell you this. I've never been to Boston. Never been to Massachusetts, never been to Boston, so that's definitely on the bucket list. Of course, I'm a huge sports person, so I want to be able to go to the TD Garden, Fenway Park,
I
watch.
used to work at Fenway Park.
Oh, okay, okay.
That
As
was
what?
my first job before TV. That was the only job I've ever had outside of TV was Fenway Park. Isn't that
Wow.
crazy?
Okay.
I
Yeah.
started working at Fenway Park when I was 12 years old. Kind of
Oh wow.
everybody in my family did. It was a kind of a tradition. Um, I started at 12 years old. I was a souvenir girl. I was too young to even work the night games because
Oh,
you had to be 16 to work night games. So I would only be
right,
able to work day games.
right.
And I worked there until I was 21 years old. Can you believe it? From 12 to 21, I worked there every summer. It was a great paying job. I made so much money working there. And yeah, I eventually had my own nacho stand behind home plate. So it was
Look
awesome.
at you.
This was back, I know. And this was back in the days of Roger Clemens, um, Big Papi,
Yep. Manny
these
Ramirez. Yep. Nomar Garcia
Ken
Parra.
Griffey,
Absolutely.
yeah, Ken Griffey Jr., the big, this was back in those days. And it was awesome. So like I grew up at Fenway Park because all my summers from 12 until 21 were spent at Fenway Park.
Wow. I can just only imagine how the Yankees games were. They had to be pretty intense when the Yankees came to town. That's for sure.
Nice tips.
I bet. I bet. That's what's up. I love that.
Nice tips.
My place would be the Cayman Islands. I just came back off a cruise
Ooh,
2 weeks ago. It was a family cruise with my dad, stepmom, and everybody. And yeah, I'm actually planning on going on another one. I'm talking to
nice.
I'm sorry, say that again?
No, I said nice. You're a
Yeah,
cruiser.
yeah.
You're a
Yeah,
cruiser now?
I am a cruising now. Yeah, no doubt. I want to be able to go to some in 2025. I was looking at Turks and Caicos, Honduras, Belize, San Juan, Puerto Rico. I was looking at something along those lines because I want to be able to do something again. It was a 7 day cruise, a lot of fun. I think if you're going to cruise, you should at least do 5 to 7 days because 3 days just doesn't do it enough. Anything longer than 7 days is probably doing too much. But
Yeah.
I want to be able to do that at least and go there and have a good time. And I'm hopefully looking for a singles cruise. That would be good. That would be pretty
Oh,
good. That would be
okay.
pretty good. So no question. Favorite sport you like to watch on TV? Favorite sport you like to attend in person? They could be the same sport.
Basketball and basketball.
Girl, you my favorite already. You my favorite. We don't even need to ask no
Love.
more damn
I
questions. We
watched the
good.
Celtics. I'm so happy the Celtics are back. It's my therapy.
Oh
It's my
my.
favorite way to fall asleep. I watched the Celtics game. And thank God they are back. And they're better than ever. Oh my God, they're so good. They
You know, they
excite
just
me
came
so
to
much.
Atlanta. They just came to Atlanta, the
I
Celtics.
know. We're here. I know. Um, again, my crowd phobia. I did look at tickets to go. But again, I have a fear of crowds. Although I do want to go to TD Gardens. I would love to go, just take my kids to TD
Yeah.
Garden. But so this year, guess what?
What?
In the nosebleeds, it's 150. The cheapest tickets you can get are 130. So I was
Yeah.
like, maybe not this year. It's because they're
Right.
so good. I was like, maybe not this year we'll go. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe we'll find tickets from like a season ticket holder, a friend or something like that when because we go to Boston a lot. But I was like, yeah, I don't have to force it. Plus, it's like a panic attack for me. So then you're like, what am I even doing here? Spending all this money for me to go have major anxiety and a whole full on
Right.
panic
Right.
attack. So
But
let's maybe
listen,
not. Yeah, we can just watch them on TV. But yeah, I watched the Celtics. I fell asleep last night I was so tired, so I didn't get to finish watching the game. But I do, and I do love watching college basketball, and I love watching the women, and I'm so excited that they're back, and I'm really looking forward
me
to
too.
watching. I'm really looking forward to watching LSU and Indiana again this year. And I was I was watching college basketball before everybody really did, not crazy, but I was watching it and I was aware of Caitlin Clark before. Actually, my brother-in-law turned me on to Caitlin Clark. He was like, you
Okay.
got to watch this girl. He was sending me clips of her all the time. So before that all happened, I was watching women's basketball, but certainly, I mean, last season was extraordinary. And now, I just love some of those girls on that we watched last season in
Mhm.
like Hannah Stulke. And I can't wait to see what they do this year. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited basketball's back. It like gives me a purpose, something to look forward to every day.
Absolutely, no question about that. Well, obviously, you being from Boston, I can totally understand you being a Celtics fan. I grew up in California, so I'm a Lakers fan. But I grew up in the ages of, Kobe, Shaq. Those were my middle school, high school years of doing that, and then obviously Kobe and Powell later on. So I'm a huge Lakers fan, but I'm a huge college basketball fan too, of women and men. No question about it. Can't wait to see what Paige Brucker does this season. Juju
Yes,
Watkins over in
yes. Oh
USC,
my God.
Flau'jae Johnson
Love
in
her.
LSU,
Yes.
and what Kim Mulkey does with that
Juju.
team. No question. So I'm waiting to see what they can do over there for sure. But yeah, basketball, like I said, you won my heart already, Dominica. No question about it. Be good. I love basketball. Favorite restaurant to eat at, and I would say eat at there. Obviously, I know Atlanta pretty well in their restaurants, but
Oh, in Atlanta?
it could be Atlanta or anywhere, just anywhere in general.
Okay. In Atlanta, uh, I do love Rumi's Kitchen.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
And they just opened up, and I have to try it. Is a new Middle Eastern restaurant called Cello that just opened up in Roswell, in downtown Roswell, right off of Canton Street. Have to
Okay,
try.
got
But
you,
it's
got you.
supposed to be better than Rumi's Kitchen. But I do love Rumi's Kitchen.
Okay, I'm a huge I like Fogo de Chao, which
Mhm.
I believe they have one in
Yeah.
Alpharetta, if I'm not mistaken. I also like Roof Steakhouse. I like that as
Yep.
well. Um, those are two of my favorites for sure because I love a good steak. Medium rare is good. Rib
Yes. I
sirloin.
don't trust anybody that's medium or higher. No, 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 no. Leave.
I feel that. I feel that, girl. So no question about that. Those are my two favorites. Love going to those places. Seasons 52 is another one that's
Oh
pretty
yeah.
good. I like Seasons 52. And then a sleeper one for me is Maggiano's because I'm a huge Italian person. I love Italian food. So Maggiano's Little Italy. They have a couple of those in Cumberland Mall, by Cumberland Mall, and another one by
Yeah.
Perimeter as well. So
They have
um,
some really good Italian restaurants
mhm.
on Canton Street in Roswell. There's one called I won't remember I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but it was actually my first thought when you said my favorite, but then I thought, no, I like Rumi's Kitchen better.
Okay.
But yeah, it's right off of Canton Street. You know where I'm talking about in Roswell?
Oh yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that like restaurant row.
I, I
I
definitely
forget
know.
what it's called, but it's really delicious. Okay.
All right.
So
I love it. Well, listen, how about we could also put that on the list of things we can try out as well. How about that?
yes, yes, yes,
That'd be
yes.
amazing. That would be amazing. I want to talk to you about your day to day. Now it's changed a little bit because if I'm not mistaken, you were with the Weather Channel for almost 10 years, and then you left earlier this year to now become a talent coach and kind of pay it forward for the people that's going to be up and coming, right? Coach people to be on air and as a journalist. So I would love to know what is your day to day process now that differentiates from when you was an on-air meteorologist and you was going into the station and preparing to get ready.
It's so much more fun. So it's different every day, because some days it depends if I have, if I'm meeting with clients or what's on the agenda for that day. I still do work in TV, so I do freelance.
Okay,
So I freelance for 11 Alive here,
absolutely.
and some other outlets too. Um, so some weeks I'm doing some more freelance than my own personal business. It just, so it kind of depends. But so every day looks a little bit different.
Absolutely.
But I absolutely love it. Coaching is something that I have been wanting to do for a while now, and I
Okay.
have been doing. And it's just something I really love, but I didn't have the guts to do it all the way.
Mm,
And then this summer, I just, I don't know, mental breakdown, midlife crisis, whatever you want to call it. And I was just like, for the past couple of years, I've really felt stuck. Like I knew I wasn't doing what I should be doing. There was more. And I was
sure.
really frustrated in my career because I felt like I wasn't working to my potential. And I think
Okay.
there's nothing worse than that when you feel that. And I just felt like, what am I doing? I'm going through the motions every single day. I cannot stand this. Um, and this is not a good use of my skills, my talent, anything that what am I like? It was just going through the motions every day, and it's not inspiring. I would dread getting out of bed, going to work.
Mm,
And it was just like, what am I doing with my life? And I sat like that for quite some time. I would say it was like a good 3, 4 years that I sat like that, just constantly frustrated. And I thought, I don't want to be in this business anymore. I guess that's it. I just grown out of this. I don't want to do meteorology. I don't want to do TV. I guess I'm just done with that. That must be it.
mm.
It wasn't. It wasn't at all. It was just that I wasn't being challenged. I wasn't working to my full potential, and there was more for me to do. So I was coaching people, and I never really saw that as a thing. Although every time I did, I would be like, I love that. That was so great. That made my day doing that. And then I
Right.
started thinking this summer, I could really do that. And, everybody questions themselves like, me? I can't do that. I can't start my own business. I can't do this. And I had all those voices in my head. And then I was like, you know what? It really makes
Why
me
not?
happy. It makes me feel like so much purpose. And I want to
Hey,
do this.
absolutely.
So I thought it was a perfect complement to my career because I am taking everything full circle. All that hard work, all that learning. And I've had talent coaches. I've had speech coaches all along the way.
Okay.
You take all that learning and all the years of your career, and then you kind of bring it full circle, and it makes sense again. And I just love it. And I love working. I work with anybody. If you can be in social media, you could be just somebody who's owns a business and you do interviews, or it's really any sort of media coaching. But My favorite to work with are people who are just beginning in this business.
Absolutely.
I love it. I just relate so much to it. And, I have such an affinity for it. And I love local news. I spent many years in local news and I love local news. And there's so many talented people. It's just so inspiring to watch. And so, long story short, I realized I very much love this business. I love broadcasting. I always have, and it will never change. Absolutely love broadcasting. And I'm so
Love to hear that.
happy that I get to now coach people and still, um, go ahead and freelance and do a forecast here and there, or record stuff for people.
Mhm.
I still get to be in the broadcasting world, and I don't want to be in it full time, which is great. So I can do it here and there. um and I can live in both worlds, and I think
Sure.
that was important for me right now. So yeah, it's been great because I realized, no, I really love this, and I love being a meteorologist. I really thought I was done being a meteorologist. I thought, I don't want one more hurricane season. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm so tired of it. I wasn't. I was just uninspired where I was, and now, like when I go in and I get to do, like this weekend, I'm going to work at 11 Alive, and I'm like excited for it. It's
Okay.
so fun. And it's such a great weather team that I love so much. They're so smart. They have their act together. They're so organized. And I love working with everybody there at 11 Alive. And it's just really fun. So I get to go in and have some fun with them, and come home. And it's the best of both worlds that I have right now. And it's really like, sometimes I don't want to talk about it because I feel like, how sometimes when you feel like you're cheating the system, I'm not cheating the system, but like something feels so good, you're like, oh, I don't want to ruin it for myself.
Sure.
But that's
Sure.
kind of how I feel right now. It's like, it's really exciting. And I love going, and I love when I get the chance to go into 11 Alive, or if I have another job where I get to, somebody hires me to record something for them, do a video for them or something. It's just so much fun. And that's the place that I want to stay in. I don't want to be back to waking up every morning, just going through the motions and then being bitter about everything. Well,
Yeah.
it was an
Definitely.
awful place to be.
Yes, absolutely. And I appreciate your transparency. I really do. Um, What two bonus questions that came up in my mind though was because you talked about it, mentioned it. What made it uninspiring at that moment? Like because I want to know how the fire came back, but I also know what I want to know the beginning part too of what made it uninspiring to get to that point. And the second thing is when you do sign up people to coach, what is some of the methods and practices that you take on when you're coaching these up and comers? Like what is a coaching session with Davis like?
Okay. So, what made it uninspiring was, I think, the I love the people I work with. So,
Mhm.
this is a little bit tricky. It was an unsupported environment, managerial from the top down. Okay? So
Okay.
it was not
Okay.
like they weren't really committed to the broadcasting part of weather.
Okay. Okay.
So we didn't really have resources, and you just did the same thing day in and day out.
Mhm.
You know, I, how when you work in an office or you work in a place and everybody wants, and they want to do new things, but they don't really want to
Absolutely.
do new things. They just want to talk about doing new things, but they really want to stay and do the same old things.
Mhm. So they're talking about it, but they ain't being about it. Is what you trying to say?
Yeah, it's always that.
Mhm.
And then, you just didn't have the I just didn't have the create I couldn't be there was no creativity. There was no
Mm.
anybody.
Okay.
There was nothing. And it's not to I don't I'm not shitting on the company, or I mean, I guess in some ways I am, but it wasn't the place for me. I had out
Sure.
here's the perfect answer. I had outgrown it.
Sure. Sure.
I had
Absolutely.
outgrown it in every way. I had outgrown it. It was time for me to go, and I
Absolutely.
didn't go. That's not their fault. That's my fault. I did
Sure.
not go.
Absolutely.
And I stayed because the check was easy to take. Um, and I didn't think I could really find anything else that would give me the hours that I wanted. I had two little kids. There was all these sorts of reasons that I told myself to just
Absolutely.
whatever, just do it.
Right.
Delay whatever you want right now because it will make life harder.
Right.
So yeah.
I feel
So
that.
that
No,
was it.
thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. And what about the coaching in the coaching
Okay.
sense?
So the coaching really depends on, I mean, no, there's standard things that I do with everybody, but the coaching really depends on you and your needs. So what I love about this is, and I've been to talent coaches, and I working in local news and even national news, they'll bring in big talent coaches, like big corporations like Maggots and places like that, where they have talent
Absolutely.
coaches that sit with you and go over your tapes, and nobody likes them. They're terrible. They're not, I don't mean the person, those sessions are just not, usually they're a mouthpiece of management.
Okay.
These people have not been on air, or if they have, it's been years since they've been on air, and they're just giving you a lot of like woulda, coulda, shoulda type of things, and it's just not productive, and people come out really feeling bad.
Okay.
Um, so when I coach with you, first of all, I get to know you. So
Hmm.
I have people fill out an evaluation of what their goals and objectives are. So we are on the same page and we're working together. And then it's specific to you. So it's not really a one size fits all. So say if you, Chris Drummond, you were like, listen, I am, you know, having
Sports
a tough
reporter.
time ad-libbing, or
Yeah.
yeah, then we're going to specifically work on that. So I look at tapes of yours,
Hmm.
and I analyze them, and we go over things, and we do exercises. So we would start doing specific exercises. I have a client right now that I'm working with. He just started yesterday with me, and he's bantering. He actually doesn't have anybody to banter with. He doesn't have an anchor. They just go to him, and it's just like he just does this straight weather. So he doesn't have any opportunity to banter. So what we're
Right.
working on with him is, yes, you do. You can always talk to yourself. So I'm teaching him how to banter with himself, which is a form of ad lib. And
Okay.
an amazing meteorologist. He's so good broadcasting wise. But that's a part of it he has to work on. He has the nuts and bolts of it down, but now
Hmm.
he has to work on getting the confidence to engage with himself, thus the audience, and kind of show his personality. So we are working on things that are specific to him. So for a lot of people, it's not like I work on the same thing with everybody,
Right.
because it really, I just wrapped up with a client who it was a I was the majority of it was voice work.
Okay.
They were having swallowing words and speaking too fast, and we had big enunciation problems, and they were speaking from the larynx and not from their stomach. So we were doing all those exercises and really
Okay.
working on voice and pausing and enunciation, and that was
Absolutely.
strictly the work. He was very good at ad lib. He was very good at all those other things. So everybody has these sort of things that kind of are just, they're stuck, and it is very natural to be. And you just kind of have to find a method to get over it, and techniques and exercises. And I always tell people it's no different than going to the gym. I mean, you're working out a muscle, and you have to keep doing it. And
Right.
change doesn't stick unless you keep, it's a discipline.
Right.
So yeah, so that's what it is. So it's not a really a one size fits all. It is specifically tailored to the person, and then we work one on one,
Okay.
and we'll do exercises. And then when you in between, like for instance, this client that started with me yesterday, they are going to be they're working this weekend. So they'll go ahead and send me stuff for this that they did this weekend, trying out some of the new techniques. And then we'll look at those and we'll have those for next week. And I'll get back to him this weekend and we'll kind of work together this weekend while he's on air. So I can give him some real-time feedback too. It's nice. I mean, I really like it as somebody who's been with talent coaches at all levels. What I think is nice about it is it's not a one size fits all, and I'm not just sending you like some PowerPoint presentation that's like, here, read this, and
Right.
here's some tips of how anybody can do that. You don't need me for that. You can go Google that.
Right.
But working with somebody, and a lot of people need to hear that they're good. That's the big thing. A lot of people need to hear that they're good, and they need to hear the good. I mean, everybody has things that they can work on. Shoot, I still have things that I'm working on. I
Absolutely.
look at my tapes and I'm like, I keep doing that. I've developed this crutch. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And I have to, we all create these bad habits. So I have to coach myself too, but I think, the important thing with all of this is not just pointing out how somebody could do better, but is pointing out all the things that they're doing great that they can really capitalize on, because that is actually what makes you a really good broadcaster, is
Agreed.
those things that are unique to you, and go with that. That's really great, actually. So let's do more of that, and bring out more of that with you. And that's why I like talking to people and doing the one-on-ones, because I can see how you are in real person. I mean, in real life, and how you talk, and how how your inflections are. Are you a big talker with your hands, or are you more straight faced? And that's fine. And if that's who you are, then that's who you should be. You shouldn't be. I don't like talent coaches, and I've had talent coaches that are trying to turn you into somebody you aren't. It's never going to work, and it irritates me. So it's like, no, lean into who you are. And I'm not here to change you. If you're somebody who's not, you're very serious, that's who you are all the time, then okay, that's who you should be. But let's lean into that, you know? So it's not like
Absolutely.
trying to make everybody the same. Um, so yeah, so therefore it's not a one size fits all, the coaching. It's really figuring out who the person is, what techniques work for him. Like with this particular client that started yesterday, and I always tell my clients this, let's go ahead and talk this weekend, because let's make sure that this technique is making sense to you, because I can give you another one. But some people, we don't learn the same way, or it doesn't make sense the same way.
What
So
about that?
let's try
Yeah.
it like that. If it's uncomfortable to you, I'll give you another way, but let's see how this works. And then if you're like, no, that didn't feel good, that felt awkward. All right, so then let's try this approach.
Right.
And, you know, I mean, I like it. Always get nervous that, I want everybody to love what I'm doing for them. It's really important to me. And so far, it's been great. People are very happy with it, and that makes me so thrilled. And it's just a joy. It really is. It's such a joy.
I can tell. I can tell how passionate you are about it. I can tell how much love you have in your heart about it. You're paying it forward, which is amazing, right? Because you had a lot of experience from the various positions that you've had in the various cities that you've worked in. So it's amazing that you're doing that, Domenica. It really is. And it's a great segue too, because now I want to talk about mental health and work-life balance. We kind of touched up on it, right? In this business, I've been in it for about 6, 7 years. I've seen some colleagues leave because of mental health. I've seen some colleagues get burnout. I've seen some colleagues feel like they're overworked and underpaid. I'm sure in your years of experience, you've also had colleagues that kind of transitioned to something else as well. Talk to me about trying to keep or having your mental health. Like, how do you keep your mental health strong? And also keep that work-life balance, right? You're a mom, you're a wife, daughter, friend, freelancer, coach. You have many titles to you, right? But you also need some Domenica time too, to yourself. to be able to just, just relax and just kind of just have time for yourself. So how do you balance all of that and also keep your mental health strong being in this industry?
My mental health is not strong. So let's start with that. My mental
Okay,
health is not strong.
I appreciate it. Talk to me.
um, I, it's different phases for me. When I was younger, a lot of the people that I work with now, when I was them, I never took vacations. I missed every wedding. I missed every celebration, birthday. What I did not take off.
Right.
I worked, 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 and was very happy to do so. All I cared about was getting to the next station, getting to the next level. And, if I didn't work holiday, I didn't care about, I wanted to work the holidays because I got to fill in for the big dogs on the holidays. I loved it.
Sure.
Now I would never in a million years. So it's changed. I had no sense of boundaries when I was younger. No, I had no boundaries whatsoever.
Okay.
Um, I would miss anything over work, did not care. I don't think that that was healthy at all. So I
Mm.
can't really speak to that. Myself now, I think a lot of people that I, come across that are younger are much better at understanding it's just a job. And you know, you have to have a life behind it. And I remember the first time I ever experienced not having my contract renewed
Mm.
was devastating. And it was
Wow.
eye-opening because my whole identity was that. And I didn't have anything. And then I felt this huge rejection. And I bounced back. I got another job, but I
Sure.
didn't get over that for a very, very long time. It sat with me. It was just, I just couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe that they just kicked me out like that. And um, so that was the beginning of kind of waking up and realizing like, this is a job. You have to have a life. Like you have no life whatsoever, and you
Right.
need to have a life. So, and as I've gotten older, and I think that this just happens naturally, it doesn't matter what any profession you're in, you start
Hmm.
to, the importance of your friends and relationships become bigger, and you
Without question.
realize you appreciate them much more.
Yes.
And that's certainly how it's been for me within the past 10 years, I would say. My job is, quite honestly, as much as I love it, it's secondary to my life because my kids are so important to me, my family and my friends.
Right.
And these are the people that I have to keep me mentally sane. So,
For
yeah, that's
sure.
the most important thing. And right now, my children are 7. They're twins. I have 7-year-olds. They're in second grade, and this is,
Precious age.
huh?
I said it's a precious age being
It
7
is
years
a
old.
precious age, and they play sports, and and I'm active at their school, and that's exactly who I want to be right now. It's really, really important to me,
That's
which is
awesome.
why I love this. I love. I choose to freelance, and everybody says, "Well, I don't understand. Why don't you just work there full time?" But I don't want that because I want to go to my kids' school and
Mhm.
help out with their Thanksgiving feast and be the room mom. And I want to go to their sports on Saturdays and Sundays. And that is like I love watching them play sports. I love watching them do things like that. And that's a gift to me as a parent to do that. So that's very much my top priority. And so yeah, so how do I, so I don't know. I got off the topic of the how do I stay sane? I just don't.
It's totally fine. It's awesome. No, listen, the reason why I asked that question, Dominica, is because, you know, people that want to get into this industry need to know the A side and the B side of it. The A side is what we do, right? We cover events, weather, sports, whatever genre it is. We're a pillar in our communities. We're an advocate for the voiceless. We love storytelling and telling other people's stories that other communities might not know and tell. Like we love to do that, build sources, do a beat, and I love to do it passionately. I went freelance as well because I felt the treatment at my job was unfair. I was told I was called into the office, and I was told by my then boss that I was below average. And when I was told I was below average as a reporter, um, you know, that was almost like that was 18 months in after I received a raise. Prior to that, so I received a raise recognition, but then 18 months in, or no, sorry, 6 months in, then 12 months in, I was told that, and I was told I was below average, and I was like, I was getting praise, but now I'm below average. So then I asked my boss, and I said, well, sir, what are ways that I can improve so I don't have to be below average, right? If you feel that way, what are some things I need to improve on? Okay, so the quote he had for me was, we don't have the necessary resources here to help you. So at that point, Domenica, I was like, okay, well, where can you go to get the resources? That was my next question. Because if you don't have them here, where can I go get them? Because this is something I want to do as a profession. I love this. I went to school for this and I've been doing well. The community is very receptive of me. Our subscriptions are up, our views are up, everything is up. The community is loving what I'm doing, the stories that I'm doing, but you're telling me this. And then you're saying that. Well, is you gotta, I mean, 2 plus 2 don't add up to 5. So you got to make sure that we making sure that we on the same page here. Because right now I'm not connecting the dots, and he could not, allocate me an answer that was good enough. He just kept saying the same thing. We just don't have the necessary resources. So what I had to do was make the adult decision, and that was to exit stage right, because I can't work for a company that's going to be 100%. That's not 100% behind me. And it's not going to help me further my career. So that's why I went freelance. And it's
You
one
made
of
a great decision.
and it was one of the best decisions I ever made, because then at that time I got into master school, and I'm going to be getting my master's in professional writing in May of next year. I've also substitute teached. And I love kids. I love paying it forward as well, because kids out here definitely ask me about journalism. And two things that I like to tell them: one, try everything. Try everything. You may not like all of what you do in journalism, but at least try it. Producing, directing, broadcasting, writing, radio, whatever it is, try it all. I tell my young boys and my young girls that, especially in high school that's going off to college, or if you're already in college. And the second thing that I tell them is, be comfortable being uncomfortable. I really live my life like that, Dominic. I really do. Be comfortable being uncomfortable. It's okay. It's okay to be uncomfortable, because it really measures the character of an individual. It really hardens you as an individual. And it also lets you know that you can handle tough situations, because in this industry, you're going to have tough situations. And it's okay to make decisions that are unpopular. It's okay.
Yes.
Sometimes you're going to have to make decisions unpopular and stand alone when nobody else stands with you. And that's okay, because you got to be confident in yourself and believe in yourself. Because if you don't have self belief, no one else is going to believe in you. And
Right.
that's one of the things that I like to uh, tell my boys and girls when I substitute teach, whenever I do it, or when I'm freelancing a high school or college game. I want to tell them that. And the last thing I would say before I get to the next question is the B side. The B side is what you mentioned before, when you're missing holidays with your family, when you got to work holidays. You're missing celebrations with your family. You're missing that quality and that valued time with your family and friends, because you're off covering something. I can't tell you how many times combined I've gotten a call and I'm out at the bar saying I got to go cover something. I can't tell you how many times my mother, who lives there in Georgia, or my dad, who lives in the Northeast area, upstate New York, has tell me, "Hey, are you coming home for Christmas or New Year's or Thanksgiving?" And I got to tell them no, because I'm working. This is a dream of mine. So being in Minnesota, I know I'm here by myself and I'm doing my thing, but you know, you have to know the A and B side in order to make that decisive decision to want to be in this business. It's a fulfilling business. It's a wonderful business to be in if you're passionate about it. And that's why I do this podcast. I want people to know the A and B side. I want people to know behind the scenes. And not just the glitz and glamour, right? They see your face, which is a lovely face to be in front of the camera and talking about weather and talking about what she loves. But Domenica, they don't know the behind the scenes of what you got to do to get
Yeah.
yourself prepared. And
And
get
it's
ready.
not only, you know, time sacrifice, but monetary sacrifice too. I mean, it's not,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, those jobs, especially at the beginning. I mean, you're living very in a very, I don't even know if paycheck to paycheck is justice. Probably not. But you know, a lot of people are racking up a lot of debt, trying to make ends meet just so they can get to the next level. So this doesn't really favor this business, and I've never liked this part of this business. And there's something someday I hope to be able to do about it. But you know, I don't like businesses that favor uh, you know, people of privilege. I want it to be something that's for everybody and not just, you know, you have the family means to get into this business, because it is.
absolutely.
So yeah, there's a lot of sacrifice on all ends of the spectrum in this business.
Absolutely. No question. And I just want to bring light to that. That's for sure. And I love that you brought light to that as well. And again, I appreciate your transparency on that. It's a great segue again, because I want to talk to you about advice. What
Yes.
is some advice that you would give somebody that's either a postgraduate or somebody that may be a little seasoned in age like myself, or somebody who is just, you know, just curious and wants to be able to join the journalism field in whatever genre they want to? What is some advice you would give that individual?
Um, I would say that, well, you take the job where you can get it. One, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
there's you're not better than any job. And I listen, I stand by that for myself too. There's no job. If somebody offers me a job or, you know, to work for them, I am not too good for anything.
Mhm.
So you're never too good for any job, but that being said, you have to know your worth. So those are two different things, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
But my biggest thing is when you are doing, when you are trying to get into this business, it's going to go back to something that you said. Know to know the craft of TV, you have to understand what everybody else is doing around you. When I was at Boston University, I had this really amazing professor, Jim Thistle,
Hmm.
and he really stressed the importance to us that if you don't know what the camera person, if you don't know how they're, you know, your photog shoots, if you don't know what their job entails, if you don't know what the producer entails, if you don't know what the teleprompter person entails, if you don't know what those jobs entail, you will never be good at your job.
Hmm.
Because if you don't respect everything else and their work around you and you don't know how they're doing it, you're not going to survive. Nobody will like working with you. And you'll never be good at your job because you don't understand how TV gets made. And if
Right.
you don't understand, those are all crucial parts of the puzzle of making your package look good or making your broadcast look good, then you're never going to have good TV. And
Right.
and you'll never be great at what you do. And I thought that is stayed with me all this time. It's always stayed with me, is to your photographer, your producer, those people, you have to understand their side, and what you have to understand and respect what they do if you want to be great,
Yep.
because everybody works together to make that, to make, you know, there's never one person. No show, you can look at the Today Show, any big show, there's many people that are responsible for that one outcome.
Absolutely.
And
Yep.
if you don't understand what their work entails, then you will never be good at your job. You'll never get it. And so I think that you have to learn. You have to really learn. You can't just jump in and be the star. You need to understand how TV gets made and how things go on air. And so that being said, you don't want to start at the top. You don't want to start in network news. It serves you nothing. You're not going to learn. You don't learn by the time you get to network news, you should already know. So people that just want to jump to the highest level, well, you do yourself a big disservice because you don't really get to learn. And when you're in those smaller markets, that's where you're supposed to make your mistakes. That's the point of being there. Yeah. And that's a part of the learning. So, everything in life has a process. And so you have to respect that process very much so. And everybody wants to just get famous fast and they can turn on their camera. And I guess we could all do that. But, if you really do want to be a journalist in this business and have longevity, you have to go from the ground up, and you have to know how TV gets made, and you have to respect it.
I love it. I do. Great advice. Well said. We are now at the portion of the podcast where we're going to do my interactive game called This or That. What I do is I throw some things at you, and you get to choose this or that. So, Domenica, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We've been vibing all podcast episodes. So here we go. This first one is key. Now, I know you don't eat out much, but when it comes to chicken, which one are you choosing? Popeyes or KFC?
KFC.
I love it. I love it. Here we go. When it comes to chicken wings, like we already talked about, which flavor out of these two would you go with? Barbecue or lemon pepper?
Oh, lemon pepper.
Well, do you like your wings wet or dry?
Wet. No, both. But I guess more, that's a tricky one. I mean, if they're smoked, I want them dry. And I love smoked wings. Nothing beats a smoked wing. All right, wet. I just have to answer.
Okay, here we go. Wet. I'm with you. Okay. Do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
Oh, bone in.
So you like to get a little messy, is what I'm
thinking. Yeah. Boneless is for amateurs. It's not even a wing.
I'm with you on that. Get you a wet wipe and go to work. I love it. I love it. That's awesome. Okay. These next four have to do with music concerts you rather attend. Okay.
Okay.
So here we go. Which music concert would you rather go to? Would you rather go see Brandy or Monica?
Oh, Monica.
Okay. I like that. Which music concert would you rather go see? Would you rather go see Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
Kendrick Lamar.
I'm about to say you sat back on that one. You sure?
No, I don't know, but maybe Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
I'll stand by that.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Here we go. Which concert would you rather go see? Would you rather go see Boys to Men or New Edition?
Oh, New Edition.
That's okay. Now we rocking, girl. We rocking. I like that. I love me some New Edition. Favorite song of New Edition?
I don't know off the top of my head. I have a terrible memory for things like this.
Okay. Well, what about Count Me Out? That's another one. If It Isn't Love.
Yeah, If It Isn't Love.
One?
Yeah, I love them all, but yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got you. All right, just want to throw a couple out there. Here we go. Last one of the music. Which music artist would you rather go see? Casey Musgraves or Carrie Underwood?
Neither. Carrie Underwood. Neither.
Yo, why you say it like that? Like you don't know who the hell they are.
I do. I think I know who Casey. I know who Carrie Underwood is, but
right.
Casey Musgraves, I'm pretty sure I do, but I'm neither. But Carrie Underwood, sure, I guess.
Sure. Okay. Well, here's a bonus one. Which one?
Who would you see?
I would definitely see Carrie Underwood.
Okay.
Yeah. A bonus one is which one would you rather see in their prime? Whitney Houston or Janet Jackson?
Janet.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Whitney's the better singer, but Janet's the better performer.
Janet's the better. Yeah.
No question. Okay. Which sport would you rather watch on TV? Would you rather watch baseball or hockey?
Oh, baseball.
Okay. Which Boston Celtic would you rather play with or, rather have on your team? Larry Bird or Paul Pierce?
Larry Bird.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Which
33 me.
which Boston Celtic would you rather play with? Kevin McHale or Jason Tatum?
Kevin McHale.
You
I'm
sure?
gonna go old school. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm with you on that. Do you like desserts? No? You don't like desserts? Oh, okay. What about potato chips?
Yes, I'm a salt person.
Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna throw 4 brands at you. Okay, and you get to choose one of these brands that you'll never eat again. Okay.
Okay.
All right, here we go. So the first brand is gonna be Ruffles.
Yeah.
The next brand is Pringles. The next brand is Lay's. The last brand is Doritos. Which one are you getting rid of that you'll never eat again?
Ruffles.
Oh, hell no. I cannot. Oh,
Lay's. I was gonna say, I don't know. Ruffles or Lay's.
oh Lord.
What?
Domenica, we can't do that. We can't.
I like
Wow.
Lay's barbecue. Sorry, but I do like Lay's barbecue. I do. I
Right.
like the Lay's barbecue.
Lay's barbecue is amazing. It is. Ruffles, and mind you, Ruffles
Ruffles
sour
I can do
cream,
without.
Ruffles sour cream and cheddar is the second best chip ever made. Second best chip ever made. Are you a salt and vinegar person?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why. That explains it. Okay.
Yeah. Huge salt and vinegar.
That's okay. Listen, we got
That's
wings.
okay.
That's okay. We got wings. Listen, we've been
I'm a
vibing
huge
all.
I love Cape Cod potato chips on
Okay,
all
see,
levels.
I
I
don't
love
even know what
those.
that is. I
Cape
don't.
Cod potato chips? They're
Yeah.
everywhere. They're
Mm-mm.
like they're almost like stale. They're hard, crispy.
Mm. Okay. Well, listen. I mean, eventually, I have that on the bucket list. Eventually, I will try those for
They're in
sure.
every grocery store. Cape Cod potato chips. Try it and let me get back to me.
I certainly will, because I got a lot of
Like,
things to
oh,
try.
have you ever tried like Miss Vicky?
No. Mm-mm.
Miss
No.
Vicky's in every store too. They're like a Cape Cod and Miss Vicky are like similar. Miss Vicky like copy like a Cape Cod. It's like a harder chip.
So outside of those brands, like I'm Cheetos and Fritos for the most part. Yeah, those are the only two because I love my Cheetos. I love my Cheeto Puffs. I love my Cheeto Crunchy, sometimes hot, and I love my chili cheese Fritos. I love that. But
I
outside
love
of
chili
the
cheese. Yeah, that's good. Those are good. The
yeah,
chili cheese.
yeah. But so outside of those like 5 or 6, it's gonna be a stretch for me to be trying anything. Now the baked chips, I do like the baked chips as well. I don't mind those. But yeah, I never tried Cape Cod and you said Miss Vicky's. I've never had Miss Vicky's.
Yeah, so Miss Vicky's is a brand too, and they have like sea salt, jalapeno, regular chips. But
Okay.
like I like all the spicy chips. So like, like a jalapeno chip is awesome. If it's
Mm,
spicy, I like it.
okay. Well, listen, like I said, maybe I'll try it when I get down there again. How
Go to
about
the
that?
groceries. When you go to the grocery store
I
next, look
did.
in the chip aisle. You'll see Cape Cod for sure. Miss Vicky, I don't know, but you'll see Cape Cod for sure.
Okay. Well, I would definitely try it and let you know about it.
Yeah, let me know.
Do you which sport would you rather play? Bowling or badminton?
Bowling.
Are you a good bowler?
No,
Uh-oh. Oh.
not at all.
Do you need the
I
bumpers?
No, but I bowled backwards, but I'm like one of those people.
Okay.
Like, it's come out and then you're like, oh, sorry, everybody back there.
Okay.
Lost it for a second. But
Well,
neither, but bowling. I mean,
okay.
I'll go bowling with my kids. They love going bowling.
Are you
But
are you are, are you a sporty type person? Can you do like pickleball, tennis, basketball,
oh yeah,
anything like
yeah, yeah,
that?
yeah. Absolutely.
Okay,
I
cool.
don't play pickleball, but tennis. And basketball, I mean, like, am I a basketball player? Absolutely not. But will I like play a game of horse with my kids? Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all right. I'll keep that in mind. No question.
I was a runner, so I didn't, those
Oh,
were the sports that I did. I did track and cross country.
okay. Shout out to that. I like that. I always like asking this question to people that's in the journalism field, and that is, if you wasn't in the journalism field, doing the meteorology, what career path would you have chosen to do, and why?
Could it be like what I would do now, knowing what I know now?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, if it
Because
just
I
wasn't,
never
if it
thought
just
of
wasn't
anything
journalism,
else.
that's
I
all.
never had like a two thing growing up. Like it was always just that was it. I was going to be in TV. Now I would be like a business person. I would have went to business school. And
Okay, what kind of business would you have owned?
I would work in like finance or something.
Finance. Okay, I'm with you on that. That's awesome. I love that. I would have done theater for myself. Yeah, huge into plays and musicals. I love that. I love that for sure.
That's cool.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt. I want to ask you about advice. What is
Yeah.
some advice that someone has gave you that you hold on dearly to?
Uh,
Oh yeah, okay,
Here's the thing. I don't know because I feel like I've gotten a lot of good advice along the way about many different things, but one that kind of always sticks out to me is when I worked in Baltimore many, many years. I was young. I was in my 20s.
sure.
The news director at the time, awesome news director. She now works in North Carolina. Her name was Michelle Butt, is still Michelle Butt. She said to me, we were driving in the car. We were going to lunch. It was during my interview. And I was telling her how I got into meteorology. She was asking me how, and I was telling her, my agent told me to do it and everything. And she said, "That's okay, hon. Everybody finds their own way." And it wasn't really advice, but it was because she was saying everybody finds their own way. And I think about that all the time because we can get to the same. And then she did tell me a story about her husband. Her husband, Richard's an architect, and he took an offbeat path to get to, and he's very successful. And he didn't do it in the typical career way that one would do it, but he eventually got to where he needed to be. So she said,
Right.
"It's all right, hon. Everybody finds their own way." And I don't know, that sentence it's always stayed with me and comes back to me all the time, especially when I'm doing something new or
Mhm.
trying something and I feel like I'm not doing it like everybody else, or I can't do it because I didn't start out like this, or it just always crosses my mind is everybody finds their own way. So it's like we don't have to take the same route to get to the same destination. It's
Right.
our way. So I don't know if that was necessarily advice, but it was just something that she said to me that always replays in my head.
I love
And
that. Nah,
she was a wonderful news director. And she still is a wonderful news director.
got you, got you. That's awesome. No, I love that. I really do. Dominica, we are coming to the end of the podcast. I want rapid fire. So this rapid fire is
I don't
first
talk.
thing,
I'll just answer.
right? First thing that comes to your mind. Okay. So
Okay.
here we go. Burgers or tacos?
Tacos.
Waffles or pancakes?
I don't like either, but waffles.
Got you. Oh, chicken or ribs?
Chicken.
Okay. Favorite color?
Black.
I like that. Okay, now. Favorite board game?
Monopoly. I'm
Okay, you
just
sure?
thinking off the top of my head. I don't know.
Okay, all right. Spades or dominoes?
I don't know how to play either.
Oh my gosh. Oh no. We can't
Well,
come on now. Dominica, we gotta invite you to the cookout now. Those are cookout type games.
I know how to play 500 rummy and poker.
Okay. Well, I mean that's good too. That's good too. Both of those
Yeah,
games are
that's
good.
what I grew up playing was like 500 rummy and poker.
Okay. Well, at least you know how to play poker. That's definitely a
Yeah.
tradition. Okay, here we go. Back to it. Favorite alcoholic drink?
Oh, you're not giving me choices?
No, is your drink, your favorite alcoholic drink.
Gin.
Gin. Okay, got you. Got you. Okay.
Gin martini. Gin martini.
Gin Martini. Okay. If you had three artists or three songs that you can listen to on repeat and never get tired of, who would those three artists or songs be?
Simon and Garfunkel.
Oh, okay.
Corinne Bailey Rae.
She's amazing. Yes, she is.
Three artists. Okay. Simon and Garfunkel, easy. Corinne Bailey Rae.
Yep.
And who would my third be? It's a tough one because there's like
Mm. It's got you
maybe
thinking a bit.
maybe Janet Jackson.
Okay. Hey, listen, a bridge over troubled water, Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation. Yeah, you can't go wrong. We can't go wrong with music like that. So I love it.
My absolute favorite is Simon and Garfunkel, their concert in Central Park. That's my absolute favorite. I listened to that over and over and over and over and over again, and I have since I was probably about 15 years old.
I love that. Okay, that's what's up. Say less. If you had three people plus you, so a total of four, to take on a vacation, who would the three people be, and where would you go?
I would be my husband, my two kids, and
Okay.
we would go to Italy.
Okay. I like that. If you had an opportunity, and let's just say they told you, Domenica, we only want you to do one of these for the rest of your career. Would you be a coach? Would you be a news reporter? Or would you be a meteorologist? Which one of the three?
A coach. I don't know. That's hard though.
It is. It is. That's why I asked it.
A coach.
Okay. I like that. I
I can
like
sit
that.
down. I can sit down and do that.
You can sit down. You certainly can. No question. I love that. This has been a really dope and candid conversation that you guys had here on my Work Hard, Play Hard podcast. I really do appreciate you coming out and talking about your story from the beginning to Boston, from all the stops that you've had from New York, Pennsylvania, Baltimore, Atlanta, and everything in between. And also just being very transparent and open about your career and your pay it forward and why you do what you do. It's obvious the camera absolutely loves you. It's obvious that you have a passion for doing what you do, and I appreciate you. And I'm a new fan of yours. And as I always do on my Work Hard, Play Harder podcast, the last question that I have is there anything else you would like to add about yourself, what you do, or anything at all before we conclude?
No, I mean, I love meeting. I love meeting new people. So, anybody that would like to reach out and chat, I just think that that's the coolest part of all, social media and the world that we live in now is that we all have access to each other. And I just find that to be so cool and inspiring to meet new people. It always gives new life. So I welcome that.
I love that. And obviously, I want you to take care, enjoy the rest of your Thursday and your weekend. And obviously, when I'm back in Atlanta, you and I would definitely link up and yeah,
Yes.
chat some more. That'd be amazing.
All right, Chris, it was so awesome. This is such a great podcast.
Thank you
I had
so
a lot
much.
of fun.
Thank you so much. You take care now. Enjoy your
You
Thursday.
too. Okay, bye-bye.